On the show tonight, we've got a great programme lined up for you. My first guest is the world's cutest scientist. It is Professor Brian Cox. There he is. Hello. A brilliant man, a brilliant young man. Brian is a big fan of Oldham Athletic. Is that right?
And what a victory. Liverpool 2, Oldham 3. Wow. One of the great FA Cup ties of all time.
So you still go and see them play?
I haven't seen them for a long time, actually, but I believe it's one of the coldest places in the universe. Actually, apparently.
How do you figure that out?
Well, you get temperature, don't you? Thermometer. I'm
just
checking. What do you mean?
Oh, he's doing his research. OK, that explains it then. You will have to explain things to me, you know that. Professor Brian Cox, ladies and gentlemen. I'm thrilled he's back on the show. Welcome back. It's time for my next guest this evening. He is the nation's favourite former boy band member turned scientist. It is Professor Brian Cox. A boy band, were they? That's not really accurate. D-Ream, they weren't really a boy band, were they?
No.
Not really.
We were getting on a bit even then.
Hey, would I be right in thinking, I think certainly this country, but maybe in the world, you're one of the best-known scientists on the planet now, but certainly here in the UK, you must be our best-known scientist.
I suppose, well, Stephen Hawking, of course.
All right, OK, yes, all right. Okay.
He's been on The Simpsons.
Yeah. Have they asked you yet?
No.
No, it won't be long, I'm sure. But you are now, you have become a celebrity in your own right now. You are famous for your shows, famous for your books. Is that something, do you enjoy that, or would you rather that hadn't happened? Does it get in the way of the science that you used to do and still like to do?
It does a bit. I mean, I've gone back to the university, so I go back to Manchester in the autumn term. I teach first years. And that was a decision. I'd kind of avoided students for my whole career.
That's a very good... You know... I've tried to do that my whole life.
but then after the TV shows, I wanted to start thinking again. So I teach the first year, quantum mechanics and relativity. And it's funny because, you know, you think, like you said, you know, I'm on television, I get recognised a lot. And so there's a moment for about a minute when you walk into the lecture theatre and they're there and it's that bloke on telly. But then the moment you start writing, someone says, bigger writing, speak up a bit. I don't understand. And they forget within a minute because they've got to do an exam.
So it's back into you're just another professor.
Yeah.
You're just another teacher. So let's talk about your new show, and the show is called Wonders of Life. It started on BBC Two. Explain what the premise is.
It's a science show. Yeah. So the question is, what do we know about the origin of life on Earth? What do we know about how it went from the simple to the complex over 3.8 billion years? You're
really entering into biology here as well, aren't you? It's not just kind of the physics with which you made your name. I guess
I have to touch animals as a... Actually, I saw...
He means on the show, he doesn't mean right now. That sounds like you were saying, right now, I have to touch something.
That's kind of got... I've always felt the need to touch animals. Not like... No, but actually...
What a strange place to make this confession.
No. And I'm quite... see, I never went fishing as a child, for example. And I think in the one that was on last week, I had to hold this catfish, this giant thing.
That was a big fish.
It's big, it's enormous. And they said to me, it's all right, it won't move when it's out of the water if you keep hold of it. But in the water, they can pull you under, they can drown you, those things. So they were saying, so I just trusted them and held it, and indeed it just sat there. But then I had to put it back over the boats, and the moment you put it in the water, the thing goes like that.
And they have a different kind of nervous system, just don't they? They have different receptors on the outside of their body.
They live in rivers like the Mississippi. It's full of silt, so they don't need eyes, really. So their eyes are next to useless. But they're like they're one giant tongue, if you can imagine that. The whole thing is like a taste sensor, and it tastes the water, and it can build up a 3D picture of the river, and it can hunt, but by detecting chemicals in the water rather than seeing.
I don't believe any of that.
Why?
A giant tongue living in a river? What's wrong with you, Cox? You're teaching young people this nonsense.
There's stranger things than that.
I know, that's what I love about the show. I'm obviously joking. There are so many strange things, so many weird creatures. Let's have a look at you with something, because this is sort of, for you, I suppose, moving into slightly new territory, certainly in your TV career. Let's have, this is The Wonders of Life. I can't recommend it highly enough. I love it.
Look what we've just...
Right there. That's a clip from tomorrow night's episode of Wonders of Life.
That was it was genuinely frightening. That the arranger told us it won't come in the Land Rover, but it was like a little, you know, you got a little kitten and you put, because the sound pole is like that with a big fluffy bit on the end, and the sound man, and he started playing with it. We said, don't do that. So it comes in here, it'll be like a blender. You know, I mean, they really are beautiful but frightening animals.
OK, so the book is a fabulous, lavish book out to accompany the series Wonders of Life. It really is, and it's incredible photographs and also incredible science in here, which I guess is, and that's one of the things you do best, I think, which is communicating these very complex ideas to people like me who don't necessarily have the knowledge that's necessary to grasp it any other way. So it comes to, and I normally forget it after I've put the book down, but I love it while I'm reading it. It doesn't stay in my head that long, necessarily. Now, water is crucial to life on this planet, and that I got from your programme, but I knew that one already. But the electrolysis of water is something you'd like to demonstrate this evening. Now, why is this important?
The
what does this
reason is
mean?
because we wanted to see an experiment, and even a plant can do this. Okay. So I thought it was the ideal experiment to try.
Even I can do it.
Well, I mean, the point is that, so you're going to see it's difficult to split water.
So we're going to split water into what?
Into hydrogen and oxygen, which are component parts. But we're going to do it with a car battery, big car battery.
Okay, well, I have a car. They put this behind me. I'm a bit... Oh, blimey, it's a heavy one. So I'll put that there. Yeah. There's a car battery they bought in. If I could ask your assistant...
Bryson.
Come on. Bryson, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
The slight problem with this is it's a bit dangerous.
Is he in the Muppets?
Don't say that to him. You know what he could do with those.
But I was only asking.
Right. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect the battery up.
OK, he's connected the battery up.
Right.
Okay,
as soon as we connect the battery up, that's water in there. It's breaking it down into hydrogen and oxygen.
So there's metal things going down into the water.
Yeah.
And the electricity is going to the water, and it's...
Yeah, we're ripping the oxygen molecules apart.
Wow.
And bubbling a gas into there. Now, I want to demonstrate what this gas is. Put some of that on your hand. I'm going to bubble it into there.
This is just washing up liquid?
Now, have you heard of the Hindenburg?
Yes, I have. Oh,
what happened to it?
It exploded.
Yeah. So the interesting thing... The thing is, hydrogen and oxygen want to be together. Water's a very stable molecule. So it's a remarkable thing that every blade of grass in your garden can do this.
Yeah, well, less talking, more experimenting. Come on,
let's do it. I'm doing some science. I'm educational value. I just
no one cares. They want to hear a bang.
Well, you're going to go up like a... Oh, mother!
Whoa! Holy Christmas! Oh! I've got a big ringing going on right now. Wow!
I cannot hear a thing. You're just a bang.
Wow! OK, let's do that one.
Go on.
Should we do the big one? OK, I'm going in. Oh, mother. Jeez. Wow. Wow. So that's just water. So that is just water and washing up liquid.
That's what water is made of, hydrogen, which is extremely flammable and reacts back with the oxygen in the atmosphere into water again if you give it a little kick.
And so that is the Big Bang.
It was a Big Bang. It's going to take me a while to recover from that, actually.
That was really quite horrible. But so why did we have the soap liquid to make the bubbles?
Yeah,
to maintain
we're filling it with hydrogen. So that's hydrogen gas, which is the most common element in the universe. 75% of the universe is made of hydrogen.
Ah, OK, that was great. Wasn't that great? It was a great experiment. And we are now all professors of physics. How great to have you here again. I love your shows and I always enjoy spending time with you. Professor Brian Cox, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. That was great.